Hello everyone, Inverted 311 here. Hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to post a VR video today. One to Virginia Piper. He had posted a video earlier about his corn cob pipes. And, more so I guess this would be inspired by one of the comments that was in the comment sections on that video. Along the lines to where, that person might not have agreed with the making of that video because it was bragging about something. And I found that strange. I mean, it's a very modest pipe collection. It's a nice pipe collection, and I like that. I have a lot of appreciation for that. Okay, now I know there's a couple other items on this this shirt here that are not corncob pipes, but they have a purpose in this video. I'm gonna start off with this buck 110 here. Okay, this knife, I have not had it all that long. I purchased it last year at a pawn shop for $15, but it was not in the condition you see now. Okay, during the time period when I bought this knife, I was going through some really bad medical conditions, and I still am going through it, but I'm doing better. I'll make videos about that in the future. I haven't got into that part of my life yet with you guys, but anyhow, see this knife here it's a custom buck 110 now. This blade was in bad shape, scratches all up and down it. Actually, at some point there was a part of the tip that was broken off, just a very, very, very small amount. But you can see it's no longer in that shape. You have genuine American buffalo horn handles on this knife now, both sides. All right, I'm gonna do a full video of this knife in the future here. But however, let me tell the story about this knife. When I purchased this knife, like I was saying, it was in kind of a rough spot in my life. Something, that was very hard to get through and still is. However, it opened up a lot of doors for me, that knife. It got me searching. Knives are a passion of mine. Okay, I love knives. I think they're just gorgeous. You can do so much to a knife. So, finding myself having a lot more time on my hands, not working, unfortunately, I started really researching some of my passions, and knives being one of them. And it allowed me to come across quite a few different people on YouTube and different social media platforms. A couple in particular, one I'll talk about in a future video, but one gentleman's name is Kyle Noseworthy. Okay, he has a channel, a really nice channel. He does all sorts of stuff, tool restorations, different building projects, and woodsman type stuff. He's up on the east coast of Canada, Newfoundland, Canada. Okay, I'm in Southern California. Has to be over 4,000 miles away or so. I'm not sure, but it's far away. Okay, the point being there is you get to reach out and talk to someone halfway across the world, right? And you just never know what something like that might mean to you. Now, my point being with this is sharing different things with people to have the experience. This is one of the most meaningful things to me, was this knife. I know, but it really was. Going through the process of, what do you want to get done, mailing it over there, picking out different materials for the handles. We had tried a different couple things for the material, and it didn't work out, and then finally got this one. So that meant a lot. Just the whole process of going through it. You just don't know what that might mean to somebody. And for me, it was, taking my mind off of current situations. And it was a wonderful experience, and I'll never forget it. Okay? Now, why is that important with these pipes here? Okay, so you take this Cob here. Okay, I believe it's a Diplomat. All right, I had gotten this pipe in a 10 pipe grab bag of smokable seconds. They usually throw 2 or 3 of the nicer designs in the bag. Okay, this pipe also came that way, but it did not have this stem. I'll get into that in a second. So, why is that important? Well, when I'd get the smokable seconds, the majority of the time, the other types of pipes that were in there, I'd keep a couple of them for whatever, but a lot of times those pipes would go with my tobacco trades, if I ever did a tobacco trade with someone, okay? Or I might gift them to friends that are not into the hobby, trying to get them into it. Here's a little bit of tobacco, here's a couple of fresh cobs, see what you think about it, And so, that gets into the story of why I even started smoking pipes. And, that's a good time to talk about this now, I believe. In January of 2017, let's back up actually to 16 in December, okay? Just had my engagement party. Beautiful woman. She stuck by me through this whole thing, actually. So you have your engagement party in December of 16, right? And 2017 comes. End of January. It was January 31st, actually. I was working 2 jobs. I was a server in the morning in a local spot that's hopping. Actually, a place that I used to be the closing bartender at a few years prior to that. And then I was also the closing bartender at a very high-end seafood restaurant. Okay, so I'd work all day long. Okay? In the middle of that, I wound up losing some vision. Different things start happening, and I wound up in the emergency room. Go through the scans, and they tell me, well, we're not sure if you have a brain full of tumors or a brain full of cancer. We're going to admit you to the hospital. So I was devastated, just devastated. I mean, it's just a whole nother kind of pain you just couldn't imagine. I'll be 35 here in May, okay, and I have a 10-year-old son who's 10 years old now, and just engaged to a wonderful woman, and have 2 nice jobs set up and have a nice bright future, right? And I still do, but you just don't know what to think. So for the first 3 days, I wound up in the hospital, I believe 16 days at that stretch, okay? And the first 3 days I was there, that's my impression, was either brain cancer or tumors, okay? But that's not what the case was. It turned out to be multiple sclerosis, all right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with how that works, but it's an autoimmune disease. It attacks the nerves in your brain and your spinal cord and your optic nerves. And so think about the nerves as like an extension cord, right? They move all your functions. I want to move my fingers, right? Well, those nerves have a coating around it, and your body thinks that it's a foreign object, that coating that protects your nerves is a foreign entity. And so your immune system attacks it until that coating's gone, okay? Now, when the coating's gone, your wires cross. Think about them like an extension cord, okay? Like if that coating's on the outside of the extension cord to protect the wires, right? Same kind of concept. I had almost gone blind by this. At one point, I was 90% blind in my right eye and 75% blind in my left eye. And, the right eye went first, and then months later you get another attack and my left eye started going, and then it progressed worse. But through God's will and my family and friends helping me through it, I was able to get my sight back. Unfortunately, there's some other things that go along with it, but I'm here, okay, and I can talk still, thank God, okay? Now, not to get too much deeper into that, but the reason I want to bring it up is because of this, because of pipes. I went through a phase to where, you don't want to believe it, this and that, but then also, it changed my whole life at the same time. I became closer to God, became so close with my fiance, and, it really, you go from I'm a big guy, before I got sick, I'm 6'1", at that time I was 6'1", 265, big solid guy, I would throw people out of bars if I have to, okay, but I've always been a nice person. But you go from being that kind of abled person to be able to do something like that to where you have to, now I have to, not second guess myself, but you have to pick your battles a lot differently. So through the knife, I started watching different videos, and there's another gentleman I'm going to do a shout out to, 1972 Woodsman, okay? Great channel, really down to earth, real talk channel, okay? And that's what's important, I think, that kind of stuff. Through the Buck 110, you know, looking at Buck 110 up, I found 1972 Woodsman and my buddy Kyle Noseworthy that I mentioned, okay? Which I'm going to put a link to the work done on this knife, okay? Kyle Noseworthy did it. He has about a 14,000 subscriber base, I believe. Really nice, talented man. You guys will really enjoy it if you're into knives. Pipes and knives, they just go hand in hand. But anyhow, 1972 Woodsman, he had a lot of knife videos and out in the woods, walking around, you know, and he'd smoke a pipe as well and talk about Buck 110s. And it was just what I needed at that time, you know, just... I know it sounds weird, but it just is what I needed to see, you know? And you just don't know, doing this kind of thing, you know, what kind of person's life you're going to touch, what it's going to mean to them. It could mean anything. You don't realize until you're on the other side of things, like I am now, it seems, you know? And pipes were always something that I wanted to get into when I was older, right? But, you know, not working anymore, I really found myself with a lot of free time, and, you know, getting into the knives and different, you know, interests I have. You know, I want to try to learn another language, you know, a second language, things like that. Or, you know, my point is, pipes came into my life at that moment, okay, when they needed to come into my moment. And it's much different than cigarettes. Now, I had smoked cigarettes for 20 years, okay? And I had to quit in last May of 17 because of all this stuff. And pipes could not be more different than cigarettes. Pipes and pipe tobaccos and high quality tobaccos like that. I think there's something divine about it, to be honest with you. It gives you a chance to taste all the different lands of the world, you know. Tobacco is not an evil thing. You know, God made the tobacco plant. Now, I'm going to get into why this pipe is here. I like things like this, okay? I love pipes. I like the aspect of pipes, like a really nice pipe. I think that's cool. It's like knives. It's kind of the collection part of it. Now, this is a beautiful pipe, right? I'm very fortunate to have this Chacon king size bent billiard, okay? This pipe is gorgeous. I've only maybe had 2 bowls out of it so far. But just look at this pipe. Beautiful bird's eye. The camera in this lighting especially just do this pipe no justice. It is just absolutely stunning, okay? Now, I'm not showing it off. You know, the reason I brought it out here is to make a point. Is sometimes sharing these types of things is not about bragging, okay? It's not about, you know, worrying about all the problems in the world. It's about connecting with people, okay? Another reason I had that pipe out, as nice as that pipe is, and as well as it smokes, I have some other nice briars as well, a few. I still like the Cob Pipes better. I love them. They, you know, not only do I feel that they smoke better, hands down, I think Cob's Pipes smoke better than anything. I've yet to smoke a Meerschaum yet, so, you know, I can't talk from experience on the Meerschaums. However, there's something just special about these pipes, okay? In the sense that it comes, well, I mean, briar comes from the earth, you know, it's a tree, it's wood, but there's something about corn, okay? And the corn cob. I mean, corn is a food, it's a substance, right? But it just happens to also be in the perfect natural configuration to be used as a tool to taste the different tobaccos from across the world. And there's something divine about that, to where you can taste the earth like that, you know? And there's also something to smoking pipes as well. Just, I think Virginia Piper, he was talking about, Tolkien, J.R. Tolkien, and that he's also a writer. Virginia Piper's also a writer, and that he smokes better when that he writes better when he's smoking a pipe. This is actually the 6th time I've tried to record this video, okay? At least I have a lot of trouble talking. I have to really think about what I want to say now. And after a while, I get tired, okay? Now, what the pipe does for me when I'm smoking a pipe is it allows me to have that moment to think when I'm puffing on it. It gives you that moment to just clarify, and you really just speak differently when you take a moment to think about what your mouth is actually saying. And for me, it allows me to somewhat speak normally. I mean, if you would have known me for years, you would hear the difference in my talking. I noticed it a lot. I mean, I've heard myself talk my whole life, right? But that's my thing. Cob Pipes, they're just cool. There's something that's just special about a Cob Pipe. You can take that however you like, but for me, it's a divine thing. It really is. And, I might not be as able-bodied anymore, but since the past year and a half or so, I've become a better person. And I'd like to think that, smoking pipes kind of helped me along that journey. That's still growing and going. Now, I'm going to talk about these pipes a little bit. You might be interested in it. This is a Country Gentleman, okay? It's a bent Country Gentleman, all right? But it has the freehand bit on it, okay? This particular freehand bit had actually come with this pipe, okay? Now, this is the freehand meerschaum here, Missouri meerschaum. And the hole that, you would put the pipe cleaner down, it's just, they're a tad small on these. They are, okay? And I'll tell you, I couldn't get the cleaner through it, right? So I thought it was the stem, the hole in the stem. But it actually turned out, you're going for the top dog corncob pipe, right? I mean, I know there's a manufacturing process, but, I mean, this stem was all full of wood, okay? And so I had to, a big old chunk of wood, huge piece, just blocking the whole thing, right? And so I had ordered another stem, and Missouri Meerschaum, they were nice enough. They actually sent me an extra stem, okay? So that's how this pipe came to be. You've seen this in another video. It used to have the clear Danish bent bit on there, but now it has the freehand bit. And I tell you what, this pipe here, I don't know. I'll tell you, it's hard. It could be my favorite pipe, even over like nice briars and stuff like that. I just think they're so freaking cool. Okay. Now, this stem had actually come with this pipe. Okay, this is the Shire Cobbett. Okay, and I had gotten this one, which I believe is not the Wizard Cobbett, maybe the Wizard Cobbett. It is in the Cobbett line, but it had come in the bag of smokable seconds. Okay, right, and it just had like just a straight black bit on it. So I actually prefer this pipe setup like the church warden style compared to this pipe. But man, let me tell you, this pipe is just so fun to smoke. I love the shape of it. It's just awesome pipe. It really is. Well, I've rambled for quite long enough. Virginia Piper, man, I gotta tell you, I've been enjoying your channel so much lately. I just think it's a wholesome channel, and I wish you all the luck. I wish you as many subscribers as you can get. Always a pleasure listening to what you have to say. That player piano you have, man, that thing is awesome. I've been a musician my whole life too, mainly a drummer, but I'm not gonna say I can strum a guitar well, but I know my chords and stuff. Anyway, we should talk about that sometime, man. Always a pleasure, everyone. Thank you all for stopping by. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that notification button so you know when I pop up another video. The next one will be a nice location outside. You know, it's not always so easy for me to get out. You can all imagine now that I've shared that story with you. But there'll be some nice videos coming along the way, okay? Everyone, thank you so very much. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your evening. And take care now, folks.